Please welcome Frank Ryan, Chairman of the Board, IDA Ireland.
Distinguished attendees, fellow speakers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bloomberg's first ever New Economy Gateway Conference in Europe, and it is an honour to address you. For more than 40 years, my work has yielded for me the opportunity to work with people in business across 5 continents. No matter where I've travelled, I have encountered amongst people a deep commonality of values and purpose. Everybody wishes to live in peace. Every parent wishes to have the opportunity to provide for their family. Every parent wishes to obtain a better education for their children than they themselves were able to access. When people feel that they can meet their heartfelt goals, they are at peace. Some years ago, I had the pleasure of visiting the naval docks in Philadelphia and to observe the USS Forrestal in dock. James Forrestal was of Irish descent and was the first Secretary of Defence of the United States of America. It was Forrestal who said, and I quote, "The only way in which a durable peace can be created is by worldwide restoration of economic activity and international trade," unquote. That sentiment was true then, and it is true today. Forrestal's words resonate with me. But we must also read the graffiti under the bridges. Listen to the small children to find the light bulb moments. Creative solutions come from everywhere. Mature, moral decision-making and thinking encompasses the ability to take and always hold the perspectives of others, to balance the situation against one's own objectives. We must do our best thinking on our most challenging days. The best thinking is the thinking that has the best outcomes for the most people. In the absence of a world trade agreement, many countries have turned to concluding bilateral and plurilateral trade agreements in order to advance trade objectives. These trade objectives and agreements are very welcome and represent a meaningful way forward. They are important building blocks to what can be achieved in world trade. The World Trade Organization is the only global international organization dealing with trade rules. I commend the member countries of the WTO and the WTO staff in advancing the work of the organization and on the pivotal progress made since its establishment. We have, however, now reached an inflection point as to the future effectiveness of the WTO. Every person, every organization, and every institution goes through life stages. The external context continually evolves. Reorientation and recalibration are always necessary to continue the journey. Reflection can yield great learning. There is now an opportunity to re-explore the values and beliefs that led to the founding of the WTO. Revisit the progress in world trade achieved to date and what this progress has taught us. Rehear the views and aspirations of member countries. It is my fervent wish that all member states of the WTO would again coalesce to envision the future role of the World Trade Organization, which can serve the peoples of the world to best effect. Empower the WTO with a new mandate to develop and administer a new rules-based system for world trade. Envelop sustainability and climate change as key elements of future WTO policy formulation. We are all familiar with the expression, "the customer is king," and we all greatly value customer feedback. We must now view the world as our customer, and climate change represents the strongest of customer feedback. With eyes wide open, I support a resetting of the mission and mandate of the WTO. In doing so, I am deeply conscious of the many current challenges to world trade, the complexity of finding a collective way forward. But this is a journey we must take. The challenges, the problems, are the calls for help from the world and are the learning opportunities of our time. The member countries of the WTO have always shown great resilience in seeking to find a way forward. Enabling this new area of world trade will require cathedral thinking, cathedral ideas. The WTO can be a cathedral organisation. It can be enabled by its member countries to advance sustainable world trade to the lasting benefit of future generations. When relationships veer off course, you must always strive to find a new pathway so that you can create the new mutually beneficial alliances. Now we must dig deep. Now we must find the courage to travel the hard road. At the core of future progress will be empathy, the openness to understand the perspectives of others, the willingness to build the relationships of the future. We must find the new ways to embrace that which unites us. There's a proverb in the Irish language I'm fond of. Is fearan caint the haganlas an tíochán. In English, talk that brings peace is best. Talk that brings peace is best. We must now put in place the building blocks for world trade in the 21st century. We must build well, for upon this foundation may rest peace and the well-being of mankind. For we are one world. Thank you for your attention this afternoon.